What's up guys, Octave Gamer here, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're back with F1 2020 career mode, my team career mode for Aston Martin Racing. If my voice sounds a bit different today, excuse me, because I am, well, I'd say sick, but I just got a runny nose and that's kind of changed my voice a little bit. So I don't mind the way my voice is sounding. So we're back with another episode. This is time for the Canadian Grand Prix. We're looking to get a good result in this one, as you can see just in the customization part of the game. I earned a helmet, an F1 esports helmet, for competing in one of the F1 esports challenges on PlayStation. So much for being so specific. I'm sure it was on all the platforms. So it's time for the Canadian Grand Prix, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I'm sure everyone knows about it. Yeah, if you're an F1 fan, or at least if you've raced on iRacing before. Yeah, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is on the F1 game. It's on Assetto Corsa. It's on most of the good games that I can think of. Okay, this track is common in the F1 game and iRacing. In iRacing, it is around. But when we're talking about iRacing, we're talking about F1 2020. And I'm looking for good results. A few things have changed in this one. My voice really makes me sound uncomfortable. So don't blame me for how my voice sounds. Blame the cold weather in this country that I'm in. I can't tell you guys. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys also for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it, even though my birthday was about 5 days ago. Whenever this is uploaded, my birthday was on the 14th of June. But yeah, I thank you guys for the wishes. But we're out on track for what is practice, the first practice session of the weekend. Let's see how we do in this one as we load up a setup. Once again, this is a James Baldwin setup. I just like his setups because they are also good. They make me feel comfortable when driving, and yeah, they're just some good ones. And you should really check him out because he's a racing driver as well. Even though he's not racing at the moment, but he's a racing driver. Just you know that, and the world's fastest gamer. So a full lap of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve into turn number 2 already. I don't know if it's turn 2 or turn 3. I always get the corners confused most of the time. I think it's turn 3. And into turn number 4, one of the worst corners on this track. A corner that I hate, and so does Sebastian Vettel. And then into this corner, Brendan Hartley and Lance Stroll must hate this corner, especially Brendan Hartley. It wasn't really his fault that he got taken out, and that's part of the track. But onto the straight. This is not the best straight. I don't like this straight either. I'm sure this is a corner that Lewis Hamilton hates. Of course, if you didn't watch the Canadian Grand Prix in 2019, I think it was practice, he actually crashed at that corner, but the damage wasn't so severe. This is a corner that I'm sure Robert Kubica hates, as we take it absolutely slowly. If you don't know what happened at that corner, Kubica had a heavy crash. Just search Kubica crash 2007 Canada. But onto the long straight, not so long, seen longer straights like Vietnam and Dakota and many others, into the Wall of Champions, the chicane that mostly that most drivers hate. So across the line, so 1:14.3 to complete the first lap of the track acclimatization program. I'm sure I would be doing better. So this is the final lap, this is the final corner, and through the Wall of Champions, the final chicane, and across the line it's probably going to be a 1:14. Is it? Yeah, it is a 1:14.540. Now we're starting the qualifying pace evaluation program, or qualifying pace program. I'm sure this thing doesn't exist as we have a massive slide out of the final corner. Yeah, qualifying pace program begins into turn number 1. Want to take it as fast as possible. It's the pace evaluation. It determines how fast you're going to be in the qualifying sessions. Don't ask me how I know all of this. It's simple. If you've played the F1 game for more than 5 months, you understand. If you've watched F1 for more than 5 or 7 years, you understand as well. I started watching F1 about 2009. Not really, but when I first put my eyes on F1 was 2012, one of the best seasons ever. So into the chicane here, not many people like this. Chicane's a very tight one as well. In my opinion, this track needs some big changes. But yeah, into the hairpin. This is a real overtaking zone here. This is where you might want to get most of your moves done in the race. Many other places, yes, mostly the race, because that's the only place where you do your overtaking. You also lose time there if you go as slow as hell. But into the final chicane, might want to avoid the wall of champions. That's exactly what I've done, although we got a bit too close. And across the line, the fastest lap time, it's a 1:12.2. We are dead last. But in the session, we are third. Just behind Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. We could get into the title fight, boys. We are third. So that, I'm sure, wraps up practice. We did a bit well. I wouldn't say we did the best. But yeah, not a bad performance. I must say, I would have done better if yeah, I would have done better than that. But don't blame me for anything, because certain things happen. Let's go for qualifying, shall we? Well, hello there. It is time for qualifying at the Canadian Grand Prix, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. This is where qualifying really matters. And it looks like at the moment, from the tires, that it is actually raining here. So this could be a big part of getting the grid lined up tomorrow. I am not sure, but I'm sure these guys, the leaders, will have to take it off. But to make our qualifying even worse, because I don't like the rain conditions, we have to wait 12 to 15 minutes to get our car fixed up, which I don't think is good for us. It can be good for anyone, but that means we might remain with about 3 minutes left. So we're going to skip the time here. We have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. The track has actually dried up. So it looks like the leaders were actually waiting for the track to dry up. They're still in the pits, I think. There are only 7 cars out there. Let's see if we can get a flying lap in it. It's not gonna be easy. But yeah, Canada does get a bit difficult in terms of the qualifying and stuff like that. So we're coming out on track, and now we're skipping to the final chicane when we finish our installation lap, and already we've wrecked the front wing. But it's not that bad. I'm sure I can manage it. I am able to manage broken front wings now. These mistakes happen. Let's forget about the goddamn front wing and move on. I don't know why I just sounded like Christian Bale there. But yeah, we're going through turn 4 it is. And then turn 5. Like I said, I don't like this corner. Neither does Sebastian Vettel. And then into this fast sweeping corner. We're about 3.2 seconds up. This could be crucial. George Russell is the fastest, but Latifi's teammate snatches it away from him. But Albon comes back and snatches it as well. Carlos Sainz is in it. This could be crucial. Qualifying is over. Let's see how we can do in this one. Obviously, we're going to go very fast. 6.1 seconds as Daniel Ricciardo comes through. Perez is fastest here. We're 6.1 seconds up in the second sector here. Ocon has not gone on to intermediates. Gasly's not gone on to intermediates. Leclerc's not gone on to intermediates. I'm a bit rapping here. But we are lost. Stroll is on intermediates. Verstappen is on intermediates here. Vettel is on intermediates. Almost everyone is setting a lap time here. The leaders could be knocked out at this rate. Across the line, it's a 1:12.0, I think. And where did that put us? We're up into 8th place. We've gone up to Q2. Oh, that's sensational. I don't know how we've done that. But the leaders definitely misjudged the conditions. We have finessed the big guns. Where are the big guns? I don't really trust this game most of the time. But here we've got two Williams in the top 5. As, oh my word. Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Verstappen, Stroll, and Leclerc are all out of Q1. They're out of qualifying. That is incredible. The big guns are out of qualifying. The two Ferraris are out. The two Mercedes are out. A Red Bull and a Racing Point are out. The Mercedes, the Ferrari, and the Red Bulls could be a big factor in this one, although Albon has gone through. But what on earth is this qualifying session here? Let's get started with Q2 now. I wonder how Q2 is going to be intense. We've got 10 minutes left in this session here. I think I just skipped the time a little bit. But into the final chicane as I absolutely butcher that corner. But I'm sure we don't care about that. I'm sure I've even gained an advantage. A 112.2. Let's see if we can get through to Q3 for the first time in this series. I've never gone as high as, 15th in this series? But on this game, I've gone way higher than that. I've even been on pole position, so don't criticize me of being a bad driver, because I am totally good, in my opinion. But let's see how it's gonna be. This is the end of Q2. This could be the biggest result we might ever pick up across the line. It is a 1:11.1, I think, last time I saw. And it's P6. We're through to Q3. That is incredible. Absolutely mental. That is mental stuff there. That is absolutely crazy. P6. We're in a chance of pole position. We're in a chance of pole position. Have you guys realized that as Lando Norris gets knocked out of Q1, Mick has been knocked out as well. He's dead last. But at least the 16th place would be good for him. But now, this is the most important part of any qualifying session. Q3. Okay, at least in F1 it's the most important part. But Q3, let's see how this is going to be. Through the final chicane, we've not touched the barriers, thankfully. But how is this session going to pan out? I don't know who's going to take pole. Because there are a lot of cars that are in the midfield and a bit in the back market, in the back, that are in this session, like the two Alfa Romeos, like one Aston Martin, which is us. This could be phenomenal. I was not expecting to start up the game and then have a race like this. This is absolutely phenomenal as we cut the corner there a little bit. And now on the DRS zone, let's see if we can gain a lot of time. The second sector is a 42.1. Can we beat that? It's set by Kvyat as we ram the barriers once again. And let's see how we've done with about 5/10 off. So you go very, very deep into the hairpin. Might not really cost us in my, to be honest. But let's see how this is gonna be. Onto the straight. This could be the biggest qualifying. This could be the most shocking qualifying I've ever done on this game as we hit the barrier once more. And across the line, where does that put us? We're still dead last. That means we have to improve our lap time here with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go in this session, as we've got, is that Gasly who's in the way? I'm not sure. But this qualifying session throughout has been absolutely deadly. I was not expecting to, race the Canadian Grand Prix with such a result. I wonder where we're going to be. Yes, it's Pierre Gasly. He's going to have to get out of the way because there are only 1 minute and some seconds left. But if we still end up dead last, that could be our chances done. As we get a bit of a toll from Gasly. Let's see if he's going to back out of the way. He's backed off there. We've braked into the chicane. And let's see where this will put us. A 1:10 and a 1:11.4. We are still 10th position. This car isn't really that reliable, but we have absolutely we're absolutely quick now. Look at this, my driving style has completely changed, all because of this one single lap. Imagine if we never had the front wing damage, I would have been way faster. We're fastest in the first sector. This could be crucial. This could be important for us finally scoring points. In our second season, our first points could be on the board here. If we get a good qualifying position, we could have the chance to get some points here. We're 2/10 up through the second sector here. This is looking good. Qualifying is over. We've just got 2 minutes and some seconds remaining. We've got less than a tank of fuel. We've got less than a lap of fuel, rather. But this is gonna be important. This is gonna decide where we get to. And through the final chicane, for the final time in this qualifying session, across the line.
How's that?
P5, P5, P5.
That reaction from Kevin Magnussen at the 2018 Austrian Grand Prix is exactly how I felt when I was recording this. P5 for the Canadian Grand Prix. Wow, that is mental. We're just ahead of Alex Albon. I never saw this coming. To be honest, I didn't see this coming. P5. We gained that much time. The top 10 were all in 1 second.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. The weather hasn't been ideal in qualifying. What's your take on it? It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race? Great. Well, that's everything.
Bonjour! It's time once again to go racing here in Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world, and home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions. And watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Daniel Ricciardo has a clear view ahead from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Ocon, Sainz, Roberts and Albon, Kvyat, Gasly, Giovinazzi and Lando Norris, Magnussen, Russell, Nicholas Latifi and Schumacher, Hamilton, Bottas, Kimi Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel, Stroll, Leclerc, Grosjean. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Max Verstappen completes the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Well, this could be one hell of a Canadian Grand Prix. We're going for a two-stop strategy, starting on the softs. We're starting on the soft tyres, going to the medium tyres, and then back onto the mediums once again. It's a two-stop strategy. It's a 35-lap race for the formation lap, and, well, we're just going to skip that part. Let's get into the Canadian Grand Prix. Here we go. 5 red lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red lights in Canada, Renault and a Racing Point on the front row of the grid. It's lights on and away we go. It's quite a good start there. We've got a gap in the on the left side as we squeeze Ocon and the McLaren a bit. I think that's Carlos Sainz. We go around the outside at turn number 1 there. We've got the Red Bull just behind us. That's Alex Albon, the only big contender that's up in the top 10. But we just hold off here. as we take a bit of an advantage there, an illegal one, as we nearly scrape off his front wing as well. But into the end of the first sector, so far so good. We've retained our places, we haven't lost any places, we haven't gained any places. I'm not too disappointed with that, but this is the Canadian Grand Prix. Anything is possible, and in these first few laps, we just have to take it smooth and sailing. But the barriers are one thing we must avoid in today's race. But those are the least of my problems, as we go through their hairpin for what is the first time in this race. But this qualifying really changed things. I can't see any progression here. It looks like the two Ferraris are still at the back. But as we come across the line to start lap number 2 and end the first lap, Ricciardo sets the fastest lap of the race on the first lap. But not really a problem for me, as we've still got fastest laps still coming. And anything is still possible in this race. But let's not give our hopes up too yet. Let's not give up our hopes just yet. We've still got a long way to go, as we absolutely corner cut. But that's not a problem, because it's not on strict corner cutting as it was last season. But we're good. We're surviving, we're doing well, we're not doing any illegal things. We are just sailing smooth. Sailing smooth. No incidents, no penalties. But we have to make a pit stop. The pit window is open at the moment. Let's see if we can dive into the pits. We've got Daniel Kvyat chasing us down in the slipstream. And on the left side, we decide to go straight on because that's where we're going into the pits. And 53 kilometers an hour at the line, whatever you call it, and we're into the pits for our first stop of the race. I'm sure the others will have to take their stops as well, as we come into the box. Change tires, 2.8 average, I should say. We expect to do faster pit stops. Now we're coming out onto the track, because we've got, is that Roman? Oh no, sorry, that's actually me. So we've dropped down to last, as we got Lance Stroll, who's down in last place. I think he's about to retire. It looks like he is. Yes, Lance Stroll has retired from the session. That's our first retirement in the first 7 laps. Early on in the race, I wonder what these AIs must be going through. But now this is just the chase for glory, the chase for victory here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Let's see how we do in this race. I know it's not going to be easy for us, but I really okay, at times I do enjoy this track, but it's not most of the time that it's not usually that I do. But I do enjoy this track. I started playing F1 Mobile Racing around this track for the first time, but on the F1 game it's a different story. So we've got a lot of, I think we've got some AIs pitting. Do we have? No, we don't have any. We don't have any AIs pitting, because we've just had to avoid Roman Grosjean there, to avoid making contact and damaging our front wing. But I must say, this race hasn't really lived up. We haven't really battled, but we just held on. But yeah, Mick Schumacher, our teammate, is ahead of us, our new teammate. But we're still chasing down Grosjean for 20th position. I wonder where we're going to be at the end of this race. Let's not talk too much just yet. Let's not think about the end of the race, and instead think about the current lap. Because this Canadian Grand Prix does get a bit hard. If you start thinking about the final lap instead of the next few laps, you don't have any plans of what to do on this lap, as we absolutely run wide at that chicane there. I really think that chicane should be resurfaced. It's not too good. As we go around the outside of Roman Grosjean there, it's almost a traffic jam here. We go around the outside of Grosjean here. Is this going to be stick? Yes, it is. We've gone around the outside of Roman Grosjean and free DRS for that matter. That is incredible. He's still got the slipstream on us, looking that he's in sort of a faster car, but not really. As we come through the final chicane and we are into P20. Next is Max Verstappen in the Red Bulls. We've got multiple cars in the pits. Let's just see how this race is going to pan out, especially that we might gain a lot of positions. We haven't really gained any positions. We've only gained 1 spot. That's because of Kimi Raikkonen going into the box. But I must say, this race could get a bit tricky in the next few parts of it. But I really hope we can score some points in this race. We're just 9 positions off the top 10. If we can even set a fastest lap time, that would be even better. But it's not always common that we set the fastest lap in the first race of the season. This new season, season 2, Bahrain, I did set the fastest lap. I did end the race with the fastest lap. And let's see if we can go up the inside as we make a bit of contact with Kevin Magnussen there, really giving him a little nudge there. But yeah, we're coming at Verstappen with supersonic speed, very treacherous there. But yeah, we've gone through as we nearly hit into Magnussen once again. I mean, we've nearly crashed into a Haas for the 2nd time in this race. We came absolutely close to crashing ourselves out and crashing Magnussen out too. But we're up into P14 as we've got Kvyat torpedoing, if I can use that, torpedoing himself onto track. And well, this is going to become a ding-dong battle because I've got a few cars behind me and then their cars in front. So this is altogether a DRS train. That's if the safety car doesn't come out. We've gone for the biggest dive bomb in the world, and Verstappen squeezed us off there. That was really unfair from the AI. They always close the door on you, but I kind of, well, got to say nothing about it. But through the chicane once again, we're starting to lose touch of these other guys. We're 1.3 seconds off, but we can still catch up as long as we make some massive lunges, or we gain some time somewhere, somehow, then we're all good. But onto the back straight, and skipping on to lap number 19, we've got Valtteri Bottas just behind us. This is going to be a bit difficult because we're in P9 and we've got a super fast Mercedes behind us. He'll be coming at us with supersonic speed as Max Verstappen is out of the race now. We were battling Verstappen a few laps ago, and now Verstappen's out of the race as Bottas sends the biggest lunge in history, as we even corner cut for that matter, just to, well, defend our position. But yeah, we've not gone into the top 5 ever since we made the pit stop. We've just dropped down to the top 5. I don't think we're getting back into the top 5. So winning is out, podium is out, top 5 is out of contention unless there's a big crash. The one thing I would like to see in my career mode is a 16 car pile-up and then me ending up winning the race. I would be really happy if that would happen one day. One day. I would be really happy if that happens. So we got Daniel Ricciardo ahead of us in P7, but we still got Bottas to hold off. He's not going to give us any inch. He's going to be on my tail for quite some time. So if it's getting rid of him, as we saw Verstappen's car disappearing, if it's getting rid of Bottas, that's going to be a big effort to do so. But this race is turning out to be a crazy one, a very crazy one, that backmarker teams could even climb up the top. As we go into the pits for our second stop of the race, 60 kilometers, I think. But yeah, it's our second stop of the race and our final, so the last 15 laps might be the most difficult. I'm not even sure how this will go, but a 2.2 second pit stop. Quick, not the quickest, but it was quick. As we come out on track and go down to 17th once again, we really need to score points. I feel like it's coming, as we've got 14 laps to go in this race. I feel like the points are coming because these other guys have to make their second stops. So it does tend to be a bit treacherous here if it's managing the tires. The AIs are good at managing the tires, but a human like me is not so good. But something that's a bit unfortunate for us is that we've got 2 Mercedes behind us here as we go around the outside of Kevin Magnussen again. We go around the outside of another Haas, so it's more like I nearly crashed into 2 Haas cars and then I just get past them around the outside. Although the Haas is coming back just like Grosjean did But into the pits comes Charles Leclerc, as now we are in for the biggest defense of our lives, or my life. The biggest defense ever is to hold off two Mercedes. In this game, the Mercedes is quick as hell, so holding them off is not easy. It's not easy. It's just like saying you're in a Porsche 919 hybrid, and then you're an LMP2 car, a Ligier LMP2 car, and then you're trying to hold off a car with hybrid boost, which doesn't make sense at all. But holding off the Mercedes is going to be tricky. I'm gonna have to brake as late as possible just to keep the position. If we're side by side into a corner, I'm gonna have to brake later. But here they come. Look at this. The Mercedes are so quick, and just to make that even worse, under pressure. And the two, oh, we're going three wide on the straight here. Oh, guys, leave us some room, please. The two Mercedes have just blitzed past us here. That doesn't make any sense. The two Mercedes of Hamilton and Bottas on a comeback. Just this is what you want to see. I'm sure if Mercedes see this video, if the Mercedes admin sees this video, well, he's gonna be really happy. I'm sure if even Lewis Hamilton sees this video, he'll be like, wow, I really want to play this game. This game is so realistic. But we just got passed by two Mercedes. We went three wide out of the hairpin, which I think was phenomenal, which was crazy. We have to get past Bottas now. Bottas is slightly pulling away, so this could be just me versus Hamilton here, because a Mercedes powered car like ours is not as quick as a factory car. But yeah, this race is turning out to be a banger here. I'm really enjoying this. This is the best racing I've had in a very long time. It's more like holding off the V10 cars when you're doing a 100% race. That's mostly what I do. If I'm driving like let's say a 2010 car or the Brawn, my biggest challenge in a 100% race is to hold off the V10 cars. If they go past, you're not catching up to them unless you make a very, very crucial strategic call. But into the final chicane for the penultimate time in this race, if we can hold off Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Raikkonen, two world champions that have done battle at this circuit, who crashed in 2008, two world champions, we're on for a good run here. I really, really want a good run here, as, oh my goodness me. Oh no, we looked on the left side. I didn't even do that deliberately. I always like flick the analog stick a bit to look on the left side. I was looking at the crowd, and now we've lost out. Oh my goodness me. We're gonna have to give one hell of an effort, but Hamilton has cleared. He is absolutely gone. Sergio Perez wins the race. This is incredible. Perez has won his second race. But if we can try and catch up to Kimi Raikkonen, it could be 11th place on the board for us. We're going to make a big send here. Oh, we've lost the brakes and we've crashed into Hamilton. Oh my word. I did not mean to do that deliberately. We got a 5-second time penalty. I was not deliberately trying to crash out Hamilton. It's my dive bombs, as Kevin Magnussen is out of the race as well. He got caught up. But I was trying to make a big dive bomb on Raikkonen that I completely... I was going a bit too fast. We locked our brakes. We tried as hard as we could to stop. But across the line with a 5-second time penalty, we keep 10th place to get our first points on the board, which I think is really impressive. But the mad thing is that
That's it then for another magnificent Canadian Grand Prix, and they've hung on to take a sublime victory here today. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
The Racing Point team will be very happy with today's performance and the final result. Another display of excellent driving and excellent teamwork, and a well-deserved first-place finish.
Well, this race was very, very crazy. I was not expecting myself to lock my brakes as heavily as possible and smash into Hamilton. If I kept 12th place, well, it was going to be a big F for me. But, well, as a Lewis Hamilton fan, a big one as well. Well, I might have to ask him on Twitter if he can forgive me for that. If he can see that post, that would be crazy. And if he, well, I don't know what to say about that crash. That was very weird. But a first point on the board for us, which I think is impressive. But on the other hand, I really felt guilty for doing that to Lewis. Well, that was really awful. I might be a bit disturbed all because of that. I know it's just a game, but who cares about that? That was awkward. I didn't mean to do that. Some of you guys will be saying, no, Octave, well, you're not a good driver. That was not intentional, and interviews with Claire would be wild, I guess.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret? That was a close finish. How are things between the two of you? You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge some corners? It was more like dodgems than Formula 1 today, wasn't it? Great. Well, that's everything.
I must say, that was one hell of a race. I really enjoyed the race. I really felt bad for taking Lewis out. I remember when Leclerc did that to me. Well, it was poor. But, well, this time, yeah, it's very crazy to think that I actually did that. So, guys, that, I'm sure, wraps up today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy that one, ladies and gentlemen, kids from all around the world, if you did enjoy that one, smash the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments about this race. And if you want to see more F1 content, racing game content, and you can subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.